Hello everybody, welcome back. We're streaming live for our weekly art class. So today we're going to continue the projects that we didn't finish last time. If you're new and you're watching us live, you can share the video. We have, this is I believe our 8th, this 2 months doing this. We started like mid-March, pretty much all of April and up until now, every Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I know today the phase 2 of the opening the economy begins. We haven't decided yet. I think we'll wait for official orders as to venues such as like galleries. In our case, we do hold classes, so it's going to be different. We're going to follow the orders, so stay tuned. We may not have a class next week. We may open, but we're not defining anything yet. We're just letting you know to keep watching our Facebook page. That's where we're gonna give you the latest updates. In any case, today we're gonna try to wrap up the last projects and kind of give you ideas so you can continue to do at home. Remember, you can revisit the videos that we had before. So let's get started. My name is Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach and also with Art, Music, and Culture. As always, a quick review of our prior projects. This was based on the grid technique. This was our first video. For some folks, it was very challenging because of the image I chose. But what I was trying to explain was the technique. And here's a more simplified version of the same technique. You can do something more complex or something more simplified. So this was our first couple of weeks. We had this. So let me quickly run through the prior assignments. Let's see. After that, we did a landscape. There you go. We did this landscape, kind of from memory, imagination type of thing, So that's what we did. Let's see. So I'm trying to promote this video as we go live. Here's another one, or the following one that we did. This is a little bit of a kind of like abstract in a sense, but there's a little bit of figures you can see and a little bit of a story if you want, if you want to make it that. But this was. Watch the video. This was actually a great assignment to do. You can do it with multiple people painting, and it's a challenge in the sense that you have to share the canvas, and sometimes ideas change. So it's not necessarily one person's idea, it's several person's ideas. This was a different type of artwork. Let's see. I think after that we went on and did we did letters. We did our letters, and that was quite fun actually. We kind of like urban style type of letters that we did. So this was actually quite fun as well. All right, you can see the love letters. We wanted to teach you to be creative with letters, like to kind of like choose an inspirational word, like anything, a person's name, you could choose love or hope or whatever it is that inspires you, as we come out of or we fight through this, through this situation, this pandemic that's, so this is the word I chose. I guided you through the creative process. Everything we do here from scratch. So that was that. Let's see. After that, I think I did an abstract painting. An abstract painting, like this is like I think mostly just abstract. Meaning that there's really nothing you could recognize. Like as far as objects or figures or things like that. It's just like paint. I didn't get it too expressive with it because I didn't want to make a big mess, but you could get very, very expressive and just splatter paint, kind of make it move around. You can see there's a little bit of control. There's a little bit of control on the, on the way the paint moves, So that's not completely abstract expressionist. It was a little bit of control, but it's still abstract. There's no like objects or figures or things you could recognize, right? So that's why. But it's a little bit of a, trying to show you different styles, right? Here's another one that we did. This was actually quite fun. We did this based on experiencing. Not experiencing, but like based on getting inspired by an actual art piece or sculpture that we have here, in the gallery. Would you bring me the mask? Yeah. So we actually have an actual physical mask that some of our students did, and that they were actually inspired to. They actually created their own mask. And I used their idea to get inspiration. Okay, so you can use an object to inspire you to create art, right? And this is a great example of that. The sun, it's a face mask. This sculpture, right? So I chose this. I chose this to make this painting. As you can see here, let's see. So share the video, guys, if you're watching us, if you just joined us now. All right, and this is did I show the landscape, right? Yeah, the landscape. And then after that, I started this one, which is kind of like a landscape fantasy type of thing, and it's in progress, right? So so this one's actually really fun. Like this, it's kind of becoming like a serious. I realized that I had some drawings with this similar theme, so I might develop this into like a series of paintings, But this is all done from imagination, memory, and things like that. There's really no physical source for me to look at while I'm doing this, So as I walk you through the process, to try to inspire you or to do similar things, right? So by the way, some of these canvases were recycled, were like pretty much abandoned, paintings, and we just kept them going. If you want to donate material canvases, we can accept that. Just send us a message, and we're pretty much running out of canvases and things like that. So hopefully, by the time we open, we will have some more material as far as painting materials. We have plenty of paper mache materials. Those are pretty much recyclable. We'll work on that a little bit today. So let's get to our painting. Can you put the camera down to show this? Let's see. So I'm going to work on this one right now. So go ahead and show that. All right, so time to get to painting.
It doesn't show the whole thing.
Doesn't show the whole thing? Okay, how's that? Better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna color some of this little castles that are floating. We're going to color them today. Is the camera? Can you fix it? I think the angle is a little bit slanted. There you go. Good job. Good job there. So we're gonna just paint a little bit of those ships, kind of like just from memory or imagination. These are not necessarily physical or real objects that we're painting. So let's see. I think red. It's a good choice. So now I'm just coloring these little structures or these little, almost like buildings, right? There you go. Maybe I should color them different patterns. So if you're just joining us, go ahead and grab a canvas, color pencils, paper. You don't have to have a canvas, but if you have a canvas, you're welcome to join, paint along. Again, these classes are geared towards the regular folks out there who may be looking for things to do as the economy or the as we reopen per se, or we'll give you guys updates. We'll give you guys updates on our website or our Facebook page. Right here we'll post when we will be opening. So today's just finishing up our projects that we started last time. You know what? And also I wanted to show you this. Can you point the camera up here? I wanted to show you this drawings. These are color pencil drawings, and they're very simple, but I think very creative. Something you can also do with your child. Just grab a large piece of paper if you can, or any material you have, and you could, just color, like objects, like little fruits, like this. My daughter did this a few years back, like the eyeballs, big eyelashes, just kind of having fun, inventing things, Here's another one. This is, what is this? The Given Tree. I think it was inspired by a book, I think. So this is just a tree, color pencil, things that you can do with your child, so these are just samples of things you can do with just color pencils. You don't have to have a canvas. I know it's tough. We were trying to buy canvas for Keith was trying to buy us canvases, but Michael's you have to order online because with the situation. So this is another version of like the eyeball, right? Like you can see one of them is different. And there's a mouth and things like that. So it's all creative stuff. This is my daughter did all this. I always encourage her to be creative with her art. So you can see this is actually really cool. So I'll show this for the camera. This one's like butterflies, right? Yeah, they are butterflies. One of them's like rainbow colored. Like her rainbows are one of her favorite things to draw and paint for her. Because a lot of colors, a lot of things. So you can see she integrated that into this butterfly, right? She integrated that into the butterfly, and it came out pretty cool actually. Like this drawings, you can actually copy them and make them into larger paintings, and just add more things and create a cool painting. So drawings are a lot of times our inspiration for to make the project bigger, So any one of these drawings you can make into a painting. Here's another one. This is just kind of like, it's just stories, like here's a little girl playing with the stars and the rainbows, and there's a little bit of a landscape, things like that. Anyway, so and these are just blank papers that you don't have to throw away paper. This is an example of recycling. Like some of our drawing paper got damaged on one side, so we just got a cutting board and trimmed the edges, made it look nice and neat. So we encourage recycling. We look to the painting now. So anyways, I just wanted to show you some samples of things you can do with your child. Those were all color pencils. You can use crayons too. Color pencils are slightly different because you can blend them, and you can blend crayons too, but you can use either or, whatever you have. I recommend color pencils just because you can actually I mean, that's just my personal preference, but you can use whatever you have. Like I said, you know, color pencils are, I like to work with color pencils because you can actually work very, very light and then very, very dark. So you can actually kind of like color. How's our camera? Is it looking good? Okay. You can actually, it's kind of like drawing, right? Like, so technically, I think if you make art with color pencils, it's considered a drawing. Even if it has like color all over the place, it's a drawing. So it's not a painting. You're not using paint. It's a drawing. So so you can make a drawing, like, you know, sometimes people draw realistic with color pencils, you know, but technically it's a drawing because you're using the same technique or similar technique as you would if you were, you know, if you were drawing, right? Like you're using a different application of color, you know. So color pencils are similar to drawing. So I guess that explains it. So right now I'm just using different colors to color in the structures of this floating structures that I invented here. All right, so let me add a little bit of red. Now I'm mixing. Here's another thing you probably already know, but so to make a purple, you just mix blue and red. And I didn't want to use blue. Well, you know what? It's, yeah, this. So I'm gonna give this blue a little hint of purple, just a little bit. All right. All right, let's see. So these little ships or boats, they have this colorful towers, kind of like castles, right? Well, this idea came about because I was doing something similar one time, and I did the castles. Actually, one of our promos shows a painting like that. I was painting the castles over the water, and they were just kind of floating, and it just kind of looked awkward. It still looked nice, so I decided to add the you know, the little structures, the boat part on the bottom, to kind of give it an idea that it's floating, right? All right, so we're just coloring that in, and let me get the white. I created this kind of mountain on the side, and over the last few sessions I've been working on it, it's changed so much. Initially it was just white, you know, and that looked kind of awkward, but it was kind of cool too. Like, it's been through different phases, like brown, because white on the top of the mountains makes you think of like snow, right? And this is kind of like a volcano that I'm trying to create, like this peaceful landscape, and then over here is like, you know, something that's part of nature. Like, the natural world is always moving, right? You know, from the macro to the micro, and that's kind of like a little hint of that I'm trying to portray here, you know. All right. bit of green. Have any viewers right now yet? Any comments? I'm having a very slow internet connection, and it's delaying me sharing the link. So I've been kind of multitask. All right, so let's see, a little bit of white to the red makes it pink. All right, let's go for a little pink. Next to the red. There you go. There you go. Grab the orange. So hopefully we'll be able to open our gallery when it's safe. We don't know exactly when. We just know that our directives from our governor and our mayor are that we're slowly switching or entering different phases. I believe we're in phase 2, where businesses like, toy stores, I don't know if there's any more of those left, but like that's the example they gave, that they can open up and people can just stop by and pick up things, so, I have a feeling we'll probably open our gallery with like limited number of people, maybe some kind of spacing in between people, maybe wearing masks. We don't know for sure, but we definitely want to do our part in opening responsibly, right? There's a lot of folks out there who are vulnerable, and you may not know it, but you may be vulnerable as well, right? So that's we're just trying to take care of everybody. We got to do our share. That's all. But join us, paint along. Paint along. So I'm adding a little bit of red and orange, kind of like flowing down, kind of like from the top of this mountain. I was trying to create like the illusion of fire, and I changed the concept as I went. I just kind of made this part up afterwards, so it's kind of like I'm painting over the landscape. So I added a little bit of white, like a prime, to put up like a prime under, and it's kind of becoming darkish, like, because you can see the colors, the underneath, and that's one of the things, like, when you know what you're doing, you can plan ahead and take care of the underpainting to help you, and to be honest, like, I was just messing around with this, like, I didn't know I was gonna create this particular image, and that's one of the things I like about when you paint for yourself. You can do pretty much whatever. It gets complicated when when you paint for other folks, because then now you're trying to get their ideas. That's why artists should charge you for their commission work. So if you know of an artist, a person who's an artist, give them respect, right? Don't tell them, hey, you know, pay me this, you know, without offering to, you know, to pay. You know, it's not like you would tell your doctor, hey, you know, operate me for free, right? I mean, the same here, you know, like a lot of artists, you know, like, I guess I can speak for myself, you know, we take this very serious, and we study for this, you know, we prepared ourselves, you know, and, you know, you don't necessarily have to go to school, you know, but it definitely helps, you know, and that's one of the things that a lot of artists that we did, you know, that we wanted to learn as much as possible and prepared ourselves, not only like teaching ourselves new things, but going to the next level and, you know, learning the history, you know, like a formal education, you know, so, you know, so kind of creating this rainbow. You probably can tell, huh, already? This rainbow coloring on this balloon. Let's see. Yep. All right, let's see. This balloon's becoming a very colorful one. I didn't want to do necessarily like a rainbow, but that's kind of what's becoming, and I'm gonna go with that. I wanted to do like two colors, kind of like I did with the little castle boats, like do two colors and kind of do that, you know. But that didn't work out. So it just taking a form of its own, like this sort of rainbow type of thing. So let's go with that. And also a reminder that we do have a music class, like an online music class that we are still doing. We're still doing on Saturdays, 10 a.m. You go to our events. There's the links right there. You just click on there, and it'll join you with the teacher, professor. He will guide you through, you know, through the music theory and, you know, teaching you things, and all levels are welcome, you know, everyone. He does that from 10 to noon. After that, I come on and do another live stream of some guided practice lesson that I may want to, you know, we've been doing several of those as well. So, you know, that's another thing that we're adding to our, you know, that we continue doing to kind of continue, and as opposed to completely closing down, you know. I'm kind of digging that balloon. What do you think, Yada? Cool. My daughter approves, so that's good. This painting is kind of like an experiment, you know. What I like about this is the freedom that I have here. I don't have to do anything in a particular way. In fact, I started working on the mountain part. Can you show me your the paper mache, the pumpkin one? I'm gonna make an example, but this part right here is it's very textury. You can actually feel it. I actually added paint dripping down, you know, kind of like that's very, very textury. And then the middle part is very soft, you know, like physically, you can tell. Let me see that. So one of the things you can do with, you know, this is an example. Can you see that? This is an example that my daughter did in her school. This is like paper mache, like pasted on to this, you know, cardboard. And it's very textury. You can feel the bumps, you know. You can actually build onto the canvas. That's another technique. It's kind of like relief painting. Relief means that the painting, it's two-dimensional, right? But it's like two-dimensional relief. So like there's texture to the painting. Not only texture, but it comes off of the painting. There's great examples in like the Renaissance sculptures that are like, there's a name for that, I can't think of it, but I want to say it's relief sculpture. Yeah, relief sculpture, that's what the name is. Relief sculpture is like, this almost, you know, it's like physical, like you can, you know, and you can do that on the painting. Can you point to the painting now? You can do that on the painting and build it up, right? You can do that, and that's called relief sculpture. When you work on sculpture that's like a complete sculpture, we call it sculpture in the round. That means it's completely three-dimensional from like all areas of viewing, you know, in the round. That pretty much describes that, right? So let's add a little bit of yellow to, you know, to make it look like fire. Oh, that's a lot. Oh well. Just gonna work with what I have, right? I poured a lot of paint there, and it kind of overtook. That's all right. I'll let that dry, and because the yellow's kind of like the flame, right? That's going up, and then the red brown could be, you know, could be like the magma or lava coming down. The snow part lost its effect, but it's all right because it gave vibrancy to the colors, you know. Well, let's see, I still have a brush with a lot of white. Let's add a little more specks of that. There you go. Kind of like the snow is melting, you know. It's kind of like melting. Like there used to be white snow, and it just melted, and now we have this, you know, so here we go. Just add a little bit of hints coming like this, so it looks like it's textury. There you go. Not bad. How does it look from over there, Yadi? Yeah. All right. I'm still having trouble with my live feed over here, but okay. There we go. All right, so now it's time to, the sun lost its, can you give me another cup for the water? The sun kind of lost its warmth, you know, it's like, now it's like this white part. Actually, they're right here, I got it. So the sun, what happened is I primed the white because the undercolor was not standing out. So I'm doing a lot of like repairing, you know, as I go. It's kind of like, if I don't like it, I'm doing a lot of changes. And that's, I kind of like that, you know, like if I'm not feeling something, hey, take it out, you know. So just like I'm about to do right now, I'm gonna add orange, like kind of like the sun. Okay, let's see what happens. See what happens. Get a little. And you know what? Another thing I want to mention is every color is different in the sense that like I have these two yellows. This yellow, it's in a jar, but it's like pasty white. Like it has a little bit of white. Like when you put it on the canvas, you can tell that it has some white in it, and it has this chalky effect. So I'm gonna use pure yellow this time from the. All right, let's see. It's important to clean your brushes to avoid the like the muddiness, right? Oh man, that orange is very powerful. I just added like a little bit, and it pretty much overtook the whole thing. Well, not bad. Okay, wow. I do want it to be more yellow towards the end. So I'm doing this kind of gradient effect on the sun. You know, we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so there you go. That's it. That's the effect I was trying to go for, like in the sun itself. So now I'm gonna use that paint that's there. I'm gonna use that paint. I'm gonna clean up my brush, and I'm going to kind of like I'm gonna clean up my brush as much as I can, and I'm just gonna spread that paint. So I'm kind of working light here, kind of like stretching the paint. So I picked up some of that red, and it's very strong, so I have to clean my brush again so it doesn't become all red. I want to keep some of that yellow. You know, patience too, it's important. You can tell when you're losing your patience that like things start to become muddy, and you know, you're like kind of losing focus of how the colors are coming out. Let's see. A little bit of highlights. Actually, white is great for highlights, right? The shadows. Let's see. A little bit of red. Kind of like what we did with the other painting. There you go. And it just fades out. This color fades out. There you go. I'm going to try to add a blue line in the horizon and see how that looks. It's kind of risky because I'm not sure what that effect's going to be like until I actually apply the paint. But I like that because it gave you it gave me like a little bit of an outline to differentiate between the sun and the water. There you go. There you go. All right. Let's paint a little basket here. I have a couple of people watching us. I think Crest Market is watching us. Shout out to Crest Market. Folks, make sure you support the local business. Go shop at Crest Markets. They're down here on Pine, a few blocks from us. They also like have food, like a deli. All right, so support local businesses. I know it's tough for everybody. You know, local businesses have a tough job because it's tough already, you know, like before the pandemic. Then you add the pandemic, it's like, you know, it's not like a big corporation where they have tons of money to stay afloat, you know. Like these little ships, they're staying afloat, you know. It's kind of like a similar thing. You know, we gotta help the little businesses, you know, the mom and pop business. That's what gives a community character, you know, like it gives it its flavor. Because other than that, everything is just like, you know, like corporate things, you know, and that's kind of boring. You know, you want a community that has flavor. Anyway, so any comments over there, Yari? My fee over here is delay, but let me see. Full screen, okay. My camera shows that this part is cut off, so maybe I should go here. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Try to keep most of the... Yeah, this is gonna be hard. I don't have a lot of small brushes. Oh yeah, I have one here. So that's the smaller parts of the painting. They're gonna be harder because you need smaller brushes, you know. Yep. Oh, here's the other yellow that I was... Alright, so let's add a little bit of yellow on this side. A little bit of orange. I think Yayo shared our link, so shout out to Yayo for sharing our link. As always, we appreciate the support. This is just going to be green. Yeah, this painting's like far from realistic. But it is realistic fantasy per se. You know, like in writing you have realistic fiction. It's kind of like that, you know. Like this is, you can tell it's not real, but it has elements of reality, you know. So it's kind of like that idea. All right. All right, let's see. Got a little bit of gray. I'm just going to use gray to outline some of the drawing part. Some of the drawing parts of, you know. I used Sharpie when I first did the drawing. And that was kind of interesting because there's less room for forgiveness with Sharpie. But I guess with paint too, you know, like at least the way I'm applying it now. So if you're at home watching us, you can join us, create your own landscape. Just put a light in the middle and start inventing things, you know. The sun could be on the side. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the center, you know. All right. You know what? Let me switch it, pick it up a little bit just to show you. Show you what it looks like. Got a good, okay, we'll leave it there for a little bit, talk about it, and you can tell, let's see. All right, let's see. I got a feeling that this part of the sky looks kind of empty, huh? What should we put there? Like just something. I feel like everything's kind of happening diagonally, and that part, this part of the sky, needs something. I don't know what, but I feel like it needs something. If you have a comment, like let me know what you think I should put here. It has to be something that sort of feels like it belongs there. Like, it doesn't have to be realistic, like, to go with this story, you know, like this. So what's the story here? Like, we have, you know, hot air balloons, so we have fire, right? We have water for cool. We have vehicles of transport, right? But they're kind of like, not necessarily your normal boats. They're like kind of like little tents, castles per se. So transportation, moving, right? Like the other one, we had a couple of birds here. Let's see. Maybe we'll add some of those, just a couple of those. Maybe a couple of kites. Something that flies, right? Like to make the sky. I'm looking at this through the live feed. And I think I might need to fix this part. It looks a little bit muddy on the reflection. It looks brownish, and that was not the intention. So I'm gonna fix that part up. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, we already over the hour, so we're just gonna paint a little more, and then we're gonna take a break from this. We're gonna work on the paper mache. We're gonna do that afterwards. Actually, let me just fix this. Yeah, there you go. I think I'm gonna stop. Can you bring me the big shark over there that we're gonna work on the paper? We're gonna paint next. So as usual, we try to work on several assignments at the same time. So so I'm gonna start. Give me that. Yep. So from last time we primed this shark right here. Let me take the wires off. We can put this back on once it's completed. I don't know if can you see that? All right, so this shark right here, we primed it last time, and trying to take these wires off. We had it hanging for a long time, and it's never been finished, so I wanted to finish it. And actually, you know what? Let me just show you guys where we're gonna leave off on the painting. We're gonna leave off right here. We're gonna come back another time, maybe next week, if we're still doing this, and we're going to finish this up. You see that? All right. Let's see. So this is the progress that we have so far. I kind of like the mountain. The fire looks a little bit too fake, but you know what? Everything is fake, right? So it's all right. It's kind of like when people criticize like sci-fi movies or, you know, or action movies, like, oh, too much shooting, too much, or whatever, you know. It's all fantasy, right? It's like somebody invented that and enjoy it for what it is, you know. That's the beauty of art, you know, that it gives you creative freedom. So we're gonna leave off right there, and we're gonna work on coloring our shark. So put the camera on the shark, please. Yep. So this hammerhead shark is gonna be our next. It's gonna be our next. We're gonna work on that for the rest of the hour. In fact, actually, I wanted to go over some of the process. So let me move the shark off to the side for a little bit. Just kind of. So we explained that, like how we do like tiny sculptures or big sculptures. We use of the body aluminum, right? You can use cardboard. You don't have to use aluminum. We just have aluminum here, but you can use anything that you can make a sculpture figure, right? And because we're using aluminum, like masking tape, because the paper mache or the newspaper will not stick as well to the aluminum, as that's why. But you can make shapes out of anything you can, you know. So these are small examples, different steps. First step, aluminum, masking tape, and then newspaper cover over it, right? So these are small examples, and then you can do something like this nice dinosaur. You can use newspaper or paper bag. I use paper bag to cover some of this. I still gotta cover that, and then after that. These are all different projects, but like the steps are the same, and I'm showing you the order of the steps. So then you prime it, right? You prime it, make it all white, so that you could, so that the paint can stick to it, you know. So the paint can stick to it. So here's our hammerhead shark, and we did develop a color scheme. Now I want to give it like this colors. I'm not gonna make it realistic. I'm just gonna follow the color schemes. I like this colors. Can you see this drawings over there? Pretty well, yeah. Maybe right here. Yeah. So I'm gonna use this colors, green, yellow, green type of thing. I'm gonna use this color scheme for this shark. So it's not gonna be realistic. I mean. You know, I don't have the source to look at the realistic, and I thought I might be creative and make this shark visually more interesting. Although the body, it's pretty, I mean, it looks kind of realistic, you know, like with the nice fin, it's very interesting. So I'm going to go with green. That's going to, blue-green. That's going to be my theme. So in fact, let me start putting blue, and this layer of blue, you know. Can you see that color? Can you see the color over there, Yada? Mm-hmm. All right. If you're at home, you can do a sculpture as big as this, or bigger, or smaller, like the samples I showed you. You can. The only limitation you have is your imagination. You can use discarded objects, to mold and use shapes, and then use or any like newspaper to keep forming the shape, and you form the shape as best as you can. After that you put the newspaper, with glue, so you could so you can apply the paint. White is a good primer or paint to go under. So this is gonna be blue. I don't know what, like the shark I'm thinking of is like grayish, white, maybe lighter under the tummy, but this is, we're making this our own idea. The hummingbird projects are actually really cool because you can actually, those look cool when you put them in different colors. A lot of our students will put like decorations with the hot glue gun, like beads or just like little glossy objects like diamonds or things like that. Sometimes glitter, things like that to make those birds. We don't have a lot of samples because we do tell students to take their work home so they can enjoy it. All right, how's that looking over there? Pretty good, huh? So we'll do the top, and maybe we'll do the under, the belly. Maybe we'll do that slightly different color, maybe lighter. There was a kid who saw this, and I forgot his name. You remember his name? But he came with his mom, and they saw the big shark. After doing several smaller sculptures, then they finally said, "Can we do the big shark?" And they did the big shark. They actually copied. I told the mom, kind of like, she's like, "How do we do that?" I said, "You know what? We just build it, So we use like cardboard, different things to shape it. There was no rule. I mean, I'm sure if we asked the artist who sculpted this, they would probably tell you like their steps. But a lot of times you can find shapes or material that's easier to mold, and then you just put it together, How's the blue looking over there, Yara? From over there? Pretty bright, huh? Alright, so next week I want to start a new project if we're still doing live. But I'm out of canvases, so I might just do a drawing. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to work on drawings, maybe color pencils or just pencil. I'm going to work on that. Maybe I'll finish the last painting, because I do keep painting after I'm done like live streaming. I keep painting, not sometimes the same day, sometimes another day I come back and keep painting. And that's what you should be doing, like paint all the time, That's the good thing about being at home, and painting. You could just pick it up and paint it anytime. You know, pick up your art materials and start. You know, and one of the things that I like about art is that if you don't like things, you can always start again. You don't have to destroy or get rid of what you have. You can just change that, you know. Kind of like what I did with my other painting, the landscape fantasy one with the hot air balloons and things like that. I just kept adding things, you know. You don't have to necessarily erase everything. I mean, you could if you want, you know. But my advice is just keep adding, you know. And it's a great experience because you feel like you're working, you know, like. Yep. Looking pretty good. I can show you the bottom. It's just the bottom is you know, it's pristine white kind of, or just maybe I'll do a lighter blue on the bottom. Should I leave it white? Yeah, what do you think? Maybe, you know, like a light blue. All right, folks, so we got about 30 more minutes. We'll see how much we can paint of this shark. The dinosaur needs more paper mache, and I'm not gonna do that today. That's just more like labor type of thing, you know. But I did wanted to show you the process from last video. If you want to learn how to do the paper mache sculptures, you can actually watch our prior video, and we guide you through steps how we did those little figures, you know. You can actually use that technique, make a lot of little figures and create like your whole town, you know. You can make 3D sculptures, you know. You can create your own. All right, so I did say my color scheme was going to be green and blue, right? Let's see how close I am to my color scheme. Not exactly, right? But it helped me decide to stay with the green blue theme, you know. So here's my color scheme, right? I do want to put a little bit of highlights. I'm debating now, should I go with the pinkish or yellowish? What do you think, Yada? Pinkish or yellowish? I'm going to add highlights like around the fins and things like that. She doesn't know. Well, if I add pink, because it's going to blend, it's going to become purple, so it's going to become dark. Maybe I'll add that green, this green that I have here, and it's gonna become like blue, darker. Well, let's find out. Let's see. There you go. It's kind of like green. Maybe I should blend it. Let me add the line. Yeah. Kind of odd. I do want to keep green. You know, I'm just making this up. I don't think there's green sharks, right? So this might be the first one in history. All right, so you can see our color scheme helps us to focus or determine colors that we're going to add to our final sculpture. Kind of liking this green, green outline. It's different to put an outline on flat drawing versus an outline on an actual sculpture. It's really, you can't really put an outline on a sculpture. It's kind of more like you have to blend, you know. Alright, so let's see. Shout out to everybody watching us out there. Everyone that's donated, you know, material, anyone that wants to donate material, send us a message. We can definitely use that, especially as we open the gallery, or when we open it. We don't have a set day, but we're gonna need more paint, more canvases, you know, so you can donate materials if you want. You can. We're grateful for that. Thank you to the people that have donated over the past years and things like that. Donated material. The parents that come to the class with their children. You know, hopefully we can do that again. I know we will. It's just been a long time, you know. And it's been a little bit tough, but you know, the kids being homeschooled, you know, it's different, you know. It's different for all of us, you know, parents and children. But you know what? You know, kids are adapting pretty well, you know. Hearing good stories, you know. Anyways, here's my shark. Well, you know, our shark, because, you know, I didn't make the sculpture part. Someone else did. So whoever did this, if you're out there, you want to come claim your shark, we gave it a little bit of color. If you want to give it your own color, we can prime it back. Some of the sculptures over the years, they've like been left over behind. Some students don't come back, things like that. So we don't like to discard things. As much as possible, we recycle. And that's what we're doing here, you know. It's a great shark. And it's kind of sad being left behind, you know. But it served a purpose because it inspired other students to do something like this. In fact, I can't remember the kid's name, but they were really excited. You know, the mom helped them, and you know, I just kind of guided them and gave them a little bit of ideas and said, hey, you know, however we can, let's just give it a shot, try and sculpt this. And that's what they did. They were very excited. You know, they were kind of happy that they were free to try different shapes. And anyway, so here's our shark. You know, next we'll work on the dinosaur. So I'm out of canvases. I'm gonna do drawings next time. And that's one of the reasons why I started doing the sculptures, because I was out of canvas. So by next time, I'll just work on drawings. Maybe I'll do, drawings are also cool, you know, like there's a lot of techniques I can show you. So we'll do that next week. But for now, this is it. I want to thank everybody that watched us, that shared the link, that donated funding over the years to the, you know, to the gallery, materials, things like that. You know, everyone, thank you for watching. We're gonna wrap it up. It's a little bit of a warm day, so we're gonna just go a little bit early today. Hope you enjoy the video, the live stream. Send us a message if you want to work on something in particular, or any ideas you may need help or guidance with. Also remember, our music class is Saturdays 10 a.m. to noon, followed by a live stream noon to 1 of a guided practice. All the information is on our Facebook page. Thank you for watching. See you next week, and we'll let you know. Follow our Facebook page for updates as to when we open our physical classes. We don't have a date, but we'll announce it when appropriate. Take care. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Take care of your community. And take care of each other. Thank you.